Hi, my name is Matt Bautel, and my colleague Dave Fisher and I would like to welcome you to this unit on backends in OAuth. All right, so far we've looked at creating web pages using Google App Engine, and then we extended that using Google Cloud Endpoints so that we could have both backend and clients that we've created, a couple of each, and now would like to extend this using authentication using OAuth 2. So let's take a look at our at the project that we're going to make together in this unit. All right, so this is one that's called a grade recorder. It's one that my colleague actually uses in his classes, and I'm thinking about using it as well. Pretty good stuff here. So what we have is an app where we have students, assignments, and then recording grade entries for each one. So let's actually take a look at this app running. All right, so if I bring up a tab here in Google Chrome, I'm going to go to Bautel Grade Recorder. Oops. Grade Recorder 2 at appspot.com. I've got a couple of versions of it running here. And it's going to ask me, first of all, as you'll see here, for my Google sign-in, right? So, whoa, big new stuff here. So we're dealing with authentication. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and type in my password here. And it's going to bring me into the app here, and you'll notice that it recognizes me here right now as in my Gmail. So what do I see here? So I see grades on homework 1 that's selected, and we've used each of us and our colleague Dave Muchler on this. So we have ourselves and our Rose-Hulman usernames. We're all on the same team, and then we have various scores on homework 1 here. All right, and up here it shows us that we have 3 of them. The average score was a 98. We did pretty well, I guess. If I click on homework 2, then I only have one thing entered here under homework 2. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at making some changes here. So we'll go to homework 1, right? What if I wanted to add a grade entry here? Now you'll notice that each one of us has a grade already, right? So homework 1. All 3 of us have it, but maybe my score, rather than what's shown there, maybe it should really be an 86. Right, so I'm going to enter that guy in there, and you'll see that it functions as an edit, right? Because each person can only have one score on a given assignment. Right, if I go to homework 2, I show up here, but if I say add a grade entry, right, then I have a chance to add Dave here, and maybe you get a 95 on this guy, so we go ahead and add him under here and click under homework 2. Let's see, did I pick homework 2? Maybe I didn't. No, it looks like I didn't update this guy. Let's try that again. So another test of updating, but let's do an insert test, right? So homework 2, I'm going to do add a grade entry, and actually it should default to homework 2, but let's go ahead and set that now this time. Homework 2 with Dave, and he's going to get a 94 on this guy. And if we go back to homework 2, we'll see that indeed he has a 94 here. So we've seen additions, we've seen updates. This doesn't support deletion. Let's see, what else can we see here? Clearly we're listing things. If we wanted to add a student, you could see that we just add their first and last name and their Rose-Hulman username, and then a team if they have one. Right, and adding assignment is very simple, right? I just go ahead and type the name of it. I could add in a homework 3 here, but it's not going to show up on any of these. It shows up here, but there's no one has any grades for it yet. All right, so that's the web client that again we're going to give you. But what are we going to be working on? We'll be working on the API for it. So let's take a look at see what's in here, right? So the grade recorder API, if I click on this guy, we'll see that we have a few different methods here now. You'll recognize the sort of typical, delete, insert, and list, but we have these for a couple classes here, right? So we have the actual assignments can be operated on, the grade entries themselves can be operated on, and the students as well. And we're only, you'll notice here that for students we only allow them to list them. If in practice, we're not going to want to be adding a whole roster full of students just typing on a tiny phone. You're going to be doing that setup from the web client, sort of ahead of time. And then when it comes time to use it, you just want to be able to see who you have in the class and then go ahead and add assignments and grades to them. All right. So that's our app, right? lots of stuff going on here. I guess I'll go back and show you one thing. So say we wanted to do the student list here and we wanted to see these. You'll notice if I try to execute it, it actually even here says that I need to be authenticated and that I need to activate the toggle above. So we're going to get very used to clicking this guy right here. So we click this and it's going to ask you something about your scopes, and typically you're going to use just your email address here, and we'll authorize it, okay? And then we'll try again here, and then no problem. It'll come back with our students. Myself, Dr. Fisher, Dr. Muchler, right? So all here. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing. So I trust that after you've gone through the units preceding this, that none of these methods here, how they operate, is going to come as a surprise, right? So you've seen all these things: deletes and inserts and list. If you want to list grade entries, we need to know which assignment they're for. So there's a couple things like that. Whenever we're going to be deleting, we need an entity key. So various things similar to what you've seen. Okay. All right. Going back here, let's make a comparison with the past unit that we did, which was the one on movie quotes. All right, we noticed that we have something that's quite a bit more complex, right? So movie quote had a single class with some data in it, but you'll notice in this that there are really three type of classes that we need to model, right? So we have students, we have assignments, and then a grade entry essentially has pointers to, that actually has the keys of, the student and the assignment, right? So we have these three things here. So we're going to learn how to deal with that. I guess the other thing is that you may remember that we said that each object back in the movie quotes was going to have a parent key. So I'm going to put in a P for a parent key here. And in that app, we essentially just made up a dummy key. No big deal. And we did that for the sake of strong consistency, right? We wanted, when we refreshed our page, we wanted to make sure that an insert finished before we listed, right? And we want strong consistency here as well, but we're going to be a little bit more subtle with it, right? So here we had a single key for every single quote, right? Now, if we had thousands of people who were trying to insert movie quotes, right, each insertion would lock the database until it completed, right? Again, this is a sample app. We don't foresee this happening. But in Grade Recorder, we're a little bit smarter about it, and what we're going to do is we're going to have for a parent key, both for the students that are added and the assignments that are added, we're going to actually take a key and derive it from the user's email address, right, which is going to be unique. Right, so the whole idea is that if I'm storing my grades using this app, Dr. Fisher is storing his grades on there, Dr. Muchler, I mean, you could have 100 different professors or whatever who are storing their data on there, and each one is going to be separate. So if I'm doing insertions, that's going to be totally independent of what's happening with the other with any other instructors on there, right? So the parent key is only going to be by user email. The grade entry, right? So this is the parent relationships here, right? We said clearly, like a minute ago, a grade entry has pointers both to the student and the assignment. As far as which one is the parent, we're going to use the assignment, right? So that essentially all the grade entries for assignment are all going to kind of be siblings together, right? And we'll be able to do some neat things like doing nice ancestor queries, on the back end. So. Good stuff going on. So a little bit more complex, and in fact that really is one of the learning outcomes for this unit, right? So one thing is clearly we want to be able to make App Engine backends. They use authentication. The big new thing here is that we're going to be generating client keys, right? And then secondly, as we said, the whole idea of dealing with multiple related models is going to be of interest to us. All right, so we're going to transition like we have recently into a document here. So I'd invite you to come along with me and go ahead and follow the link here, and we should already be authorized because of our app. And we're going to be going into Grade Recorder backend. I'll let you read over the beginning, and then we'll start off with the download of the starting code in our next lesson. Right? We'll see you then.